So why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Simeon, the manager for the Livingstonia Lodges and Stonehouse. We call it Livingstonia Lodges and Stonehouse because we have the chalets, and that is the lodge, and the Stonehouse, which acts as the guest house and a museum. So you are welcome.
So if you wanted to come here to stay, you could stay.
For sure.
Nice. Nice. Great. Come into the museum, there is a list of the prices of everything that you can get. So it has day camping, exclusive one night, and it has the museum fee, which is 1,000 Malawian dollars. So online it says 700. So you know, you guys heard it from me that the price has been updated. So expect to spend 1,000 Malawian. How do you say the Malawian dollars again?
Cost.
What? Kwacha. 1,000 kwacha. I always forget. But yeah, here are some of the rules. We did get permission already that we can videograph and you know, photograph. So make sure, guys, every time that you go anywhere, make sure you always ask permission, because you just never know and you want to respect people's privacy. But yeah, now we're gonna, come on, let's go inside.
So, should I start?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. As you enter this room is a museum, but at first it was Dr. Laws's second office. Now, as you can see from the picture, this one is the man, Dr. Robert Laws, who founded Livingstonia. Now, here we have an introduction about Malawi. It is talking about the boundaries, it is talking about the role of Dr. Robert Laws and the Livingstonia mission in Malawi. Now, it is talking about the history, how Dr. Robert Laws arrived into Malawi and what inspired Dr. Robert Laws to go into missionary. From there, we come to this second box, which is Dr. David Livingstone. It is talking about David Livingstone. Many people say that Dr. David Livingstone has ever visited Livingstonia. It is not like that. Dr. David Livingstone didn't reach Livingstonia, but he just passed through the lake. Now here we have some of the pictures and some of the letters of Dr. David Livingstone. It is called, here at the plateau, at first it was called Mount Ola, but now it is called Livingstonia because in memory of Dr. David Livingstone, it is the one who inspired Dr. Robert Laws to enter into missionary work. So this is the letter in Dr. David Livingstone's own handwriting.
Oh, wow.
This was written in 1862 to the son Thomas. By then Thomas was in Scotland. So the letter is telling Thomas about the death of his mother, the wife to Dr. Dr. David Livingstone, Mary Moffat. Another picture you see there is the house where Dr. David Livingstone was born. That is in Blantyre, Scotland. So he was born in the second floor, from the second floor of that house. Here is another picture. Dr. Rose is in a hammock. He has fallen sick, and this sickness is the one which took him to his death. So here they are crossing the river, and on top of that picture is there are two David Livingstone's savers, but the one to your left is Dr. David Livingstone, now into his last house or last home, that is, which was made of mud and grass thatched. That is in that house or temporary shelter where Dr. David Livingstone was dead.
Did they discover which disease was it?
It was, they say, malaria, and he was very much exhausted because of that. Now,
malaria will kill you.
Dr. David Livingstone died on 1st May 1873, but was buried on 24th April 1974. So the whole 1 year.
Why?
It was a long journey from the interior Africa, that is because he died in Chitambo village in Zambia. So it was a very long journey to the shore. They walked on foot. So it was 1,500 miles to the shore. Ooh. So it was only his heart or the inner side parts which were buried under the oak tree.
Wow.
But the body was buried or was put on the sun, was sun dried for 2 weeks for it to dry. It's like the modern world will say it was embalmed. But by then it was put on the sun just to dry up. So the picture, another picture you saw there, they have bundled the body of Dr. Livingstone like a bundle of woods.
Wow.
You see there. So they are taking his body to the shore. Now, through from there. Now we are talking about the beginning of Livingstonia Mission. I've said the founder of Livingstonia Mission was Robert Laws. Now the first place to establish a mission station was at Cape Maclear. That was in 1875 to 1880, the whole of 5 years. But their weather condition was not very good. It was hot and mosquito bites. Now, between that range of that only 2 years, there were 5 deaths of Europeans, just because they were not acclimatized to that hot weather. So the crosses you see there, they are the crosses of the missionaries who died at Cape Maclear. So upon seeing that the weather condition is not good, and again, the whole 5 years, there was only one convert into Christianity. That is Abat Namalamba, you see there. In a white shirt. So here, they moved the mission station to Bandawe now. So the pictures you see here is at Bandawe. But again, Bandawe, because it is along the shores, it was the same. So you can see the crosses there which are first. Those are some of the missionaries who died at Bandawe.
Wow.
So you can see the weather at Cape Maclear and Bandawe were almost similar, just because all these places were along the shores. But they were choosing these places just because of easy accessibility. Because by then, they were using water transport. They were using the steamer.
Okay.
Now they decided, at Bandawe, there is established other outstations. Those outstations was at Ebangweni, Ekwendeni. So you can see these churches, the other one is Ekwendeni, the other one is Loudon in Mzimba. So they moved out from Bandawe. Now they walked from Ekwendeni the whole of 2 weeks on foot to Livingstonia. So here it is about Livingstonia.
Wow.
That tent you see is the tent which Dr. Laws was about to be eaten by a lion. It was torn.
Oh wow.
The site where Dr. Laws slept. But there you see that they have paws down, and Dr. Laws is the one who is with the white hat. Now there is about choosing the first site to build their houses. So here is supervising the work. The first house of Dr. Robert Laws was a mud house made out of mud, reed, and glass thatched. So that is the house.
Okay.
The other one is there. But the faithful servant of Dr. Robert Laws is Uriah Chirwa, a Tonga by tribe. So that is the one. Now, there you see, on the ladder, those people are picking out or extracting the stones which were used to build this stone house. So the stones were taken into a wagon, and with that wagon was driven by people into a stone hewer. And in that stone hewer's shed is where the shaping was done. And I've said, Livingstonia is very good at history. The first place in Malawi to have hydroelectric power is Livingstonia. So you can see the first electric power station that is in Malawi and part of Central Africa. Livingstonia is the first place to have gravity piped water. Livingstonia in Malawi.
Wow.
We have that water system is still there at Nyankowa.
Wow.
It's the center of excellence. The first college or the first industrial school, it was here at Livingstonia. So you can see the industrial block built in 1895. And now it is used as the boys' hostel for the technical college students. They are still using it now.
Wow.
From here, we come to here. Here are the pictures here are depicting some of the ethnic groups which Dr. Rose found. You can see the Poka, there the Ngonde, with Mlozi. Mlozi is with the Ngonde. And that picture you see there, it was taken by Dr. David Livingstone. The Slave Caravan. And one of the aims of Dr. Robert Laws to come into Africa was to fulfill Dr. David Livingstone's dream to end slave trade and substitute it with legitimate trade. So you can see this.
So he wanted to end slave trade.
Yeah, because of that, just to preach that Christianity, that you should not do harm to your fellow human being. So it's like they had an influence.
Okay.
So some of these are Stone Age implements you see here. The first one is a scrapper, but it is used as a knife in modern world.
Oh wow.
The other one is a wooden axe, hand axe. Nowadays it's an axe. This one, a core, is used as in cutting carcasses and the like, the same as a flake. But this one is used as a weight when digging and when fishing. This place, we call it Poka area. Why Poka area? The people around there are people who have still settled in Poka Hills. So they are called Poka people just because they have settled around or in Poka Hills. So these are the equipments used by the Poka people. You have a slasher there. You have a spear, double-edged spear, you see here. It is used for hunting and digging. Bows and arrows, you see here. This one is a veve as a mode of communication. If you'd like to put forward a message, you use that veve. So it's a hoopoe. And this one is a bell for a cattle or dogs. Just to let somebody stand. These one are drums, you see.
Drums. There.
So this is one of the handcrafts for the people of Africa or Malawi people, Nyanja language. So it was a multilinguistic. This one is a personal diary, you see here. So come to here. This room was used as a council room, whereby important meetings were held. The sitting arrangement it is as it is, dating back from the time of Dr. Rose. Dr. Rose left Livingstonia in 1927, so the sitting arrangement is still there. The chairs are the ones, the tables are the ones. So Dr. Rose was not only a missionary, but was also a medical doctor. That's why we have a modern hospital. By then it was very a modern hospital because it was catering people from East and Central Africa. The Gordon Memorial Hospital down there, built in 1910. So these are some of the remnants of Dr. Robert Laws's medical equipment. Yeah, you see here. So this one is a medical.
He brought something back here.
Most of the items he left them there. So you see, this one is a medical bag. You see, but this one was presented to him during his Silver Jubilee wedding celebration. this bag. Now, after the Christianity has been settled in Malawi or in Nyasaland by then, so we have the picture there. This picture is showing Christians outside the chapel, which is the main church. Here, another picture is about Dr. Rose, Mark Pine, Dr. Emsley, and the African ministers, Yesaya, Hezekiah, and Jonathan Chirwa. So we have Yesaya Mase, Hezekiah Tweya, and Jonathan Chirwa. Here in Dr. Rose has established what we call, afterwards it was called CCP Synod of Livingstonia. Now in CCP Synod of Livingstonia we have 3 guilds. We have men's guild, we have women's guild, and we have a youth guild, which is called Christian Youth Fellowship, CYF. So the picture you see there with those women putting on the white chirundu, white blouses, black collar, and white skirt is women's guild.
Okay.
So the men's guild put on a white jacket, a white shirt, a black necktie, a black pair of trousers, and a black pair of shoes. So that picture is the women's guild receiving a gift of a vehicle. The other one is the family of the first Ngoni convert, who is Mawerera Tembo, with his wife and child. The picture you see there.
Okay.
That one is the first church at Loudan. I said, when they settled at Bandawe, they established other outstations. And one of the outstations was Loudan. So that was the first. And there you see the gentleman in a black suit is Peter Story. This one. Peter Tolle was also called as the sweetest singer, because he composed in our hymn book, he composed 21 hymns, local ones. Yeah. So these are the first these are other ministers or parish ministers. But again, this picture is showing this gentleman, Lord Overton. Without him, Livingstonia wouldn't have been here, because he was the main financier. He pumped in a lot of money for the establishment of the mission.
Okay.
Here we're talking about education, system delivery, and some sort of entertainment. So you can see this one is a gramophone. You put that disc using a needle, a very old fashioned. And we have this one is this one as ESCOM meters, you see here. But the other one is the picture of Dr. Agre. Dr. Agre encouraged people to be educated. So we have his picture here because he is the one who is fulfilling, or who stepped in the shoes or in the foot of Dr. Robert Rose. Because Robert Rose, his dream was to establish a very big university, and his dream was fulfilled in 2003. It's when the university, or Livingstonia University, Livingstonia University was established, or University of Livingstonia was established in 2003. But he left in 1927. He died in 1934. So you can see.
Yeah.
So this one is a film projector. And these other pictures you see here, these one are graduating teachers at Loudan and Pangweni. That college is still there, Teacher Training College, Loudan, it's still there. These are pupils attending physical education, as you see. that European is inspecting. That child is high jump. This one is walking on a rope. So it was like a lot of physical education which was happening here. They brought in something very unique. This box is showing about the presents or items which were presented to Mr. and Mrs. Robert Laws. So as you can see, this one is a clock presented to Maggie Gray. Margaret Gray is the wife of Dr. Robert Laws. So there is the picture. There we have a Bible they were using. This item is a present presented to them during the wedding of Silver Jubilee celebration. So it was a present presented to them. This one, we call it a Monteterio hat. And this hat is still in use today. How is it used? During graduation ceremonies of the University of Livingstonia students, we put them on their head and beat a drum, and we present them with a certificate. Interesting. So it's like Monteterio hat. This one is a clock, and this one is a container which was used to keep or store toiletries, like a toilet soap, toothbrush, toothpaste, combing materials. So some of them, they are still there. A simple chair was the chair used by Dr. Robert Laws. It's like an office chair. So you would sit here. So we are still keeping it here, just as it is a museum here, just to keep or to buy people. You can see now it's modern swivel chairs, but it was there by then. This one is a sextant. It was an instrument used to give them direction. Wherever they were going to the north. So it is this instrument which was giving them direction. This table is an office desk for Dr. Robert Laws. After working, all the contents which he was using on that day, he would just take this lid and cover it. So all the contents were there intact, and we would find them tomorrow. So this one was his office desk. If we come into this one is a typewriter of Dr. Robert Laws. He was using this typewriting machine. That's it. Now from there, another thing we have in this museum is this one, a tripod used by the surveyors. So they were using it in surveying that road. Have you come through the down road?
No.
To Chitimba, okay, we will see. It has 21 hairpin bends. It's a unique road built in 1905. So you'd rather go down the road so that you can have that experience. Okay. Yeah. So this one is a tripod. They used it when they were constructing that road. Livingstonia was like we had a first post office. It was handling so much mail. Now you can see here, someone would speak through that piece and then hear from here. So this one is an old telephone. The picture there you see is the first French expedition, 1920. So the first vehicle to be here at Livingstonia was in 1920 by the French. The people you see there with hose, they are constructing that road load. You can see if you have them. Here so we have the major unique thing on this box is these two tear gun canisters. Outside we have words which says Ephesians 2 verse 14, and it reads, "For he, Christ, is our peace, who has made both of us. He, for Christ, is our peace, who have made both one, and has broken down the middle wall of partition between us." So these words, is a biblical capture. During 1959, that was during the, we call it state of emergency, because the Livingstonia, most of the occupants were the Europeans. So the Europeans out there thought that maybe those people or the Europeans who were staying here, they were in danger. Now they put something, a message in those tear gas canisters. And the following morning, the helicopter passed through here and dropped these tear gas canisters with that message. So upon reading the message is when now those Europeans who were here, they took that biblical capture, they captured that biblical piece and wrote it using whitewash on that thing. So when that plane came another day, they found that they have written that word, those words, which is from Ephesians 2 verse 14. Now, with those words, they were published in Manchester Guardian in England, Rhodesia Herald. You see? So those message was all over the world. And the way it was captured is like that picture you see here. The building is the stone house, you see, part of it. And Ephesians 2 verse 14. That's the words. It's how they wrote it. So that one is the words which appeared in the Manchester Guardian and the Rhodesia Herald. So these other pictures, this one is the first president of the Republic of Malawi, Dr. Hastings Kamsbanda. These other pictures is when the first president of the Republic of Malawi, Hastings Kamsbanda, visited Livingstonia in 1975. So he visited here in 1975. Here is about just comments and other developments afterwards. So you can see we have just this is the first congregation of the University of Livingstonia. The first congregation during the graduation of the first congregation. This one. This one also came into Livingstonia, but it was from Scotland. This one was Macpherson, the last principal of OI. OI means Overton Institution. So it was called Overton Institution, or Overton Institution as a higher place of education of learning. Overton Institution, Overton in memory of Lord Overton, who financed many activities which took place here. The picture you see, this idea is a piano used by Dr. Robert Rose in that chapel. So during the service, they would play this piano. Dr. Robert Rose was not only a medical doctor or a missionary, was also a biologist. So wherever he went, he would sometimes catch some butterflies and name them. So you can see he preserved them and they are still here. But I remember I've said he left Livingstonia in 1927, but these butterflies are still here. The very same with this. These are butterflies of Malawi, they see it, he says, but he has given them the names. In here we have this fork and the tumbler, 2 forks, tumbler and the plate. These were used by Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, former president of Zambia, when he visited Livingstonia 2007, just recently. As a biologist have said, he preserved some of these beds. You see. This one, during that time, there was that grouping of young boys they called Boy Scout. So this one is the uniform for the Boy Scout. I think you know their roles. Yeah. Sure. Again, traditionally, long time ago, people would warm themselves during the cold season or the cold weather using this traditional blanket. It's from the bark of a tree, that outside part. So they would crush it, soak in the mud, and put it on the sun to dry. There they have made a traditional blanket.
Wow.
But there were special trees for that. So these other, they are just other pictures. You see? Yeah. All these missionaries were residing at Livingstonia, you can see. Yeah. All these, the families. And again, we have this one. This one is a bush cat. Now, because
it's very interesting.
Yeah, because the Europeans, they were using that water transport to Florence Bay, that is Chitimba modern days. They would not afford themselves to come up into here. I've said it's 21 hairpin bends down from the lake. So they would not walk on foot to come into Livingstonia. So they used this bush path. Or wherever they would go. If they feel that they cannot go there, they would use this bush cart.
It's like a wheelchair.
Yeah. So what would happen is, you sit, the one who is driven would sit here. His or her foot on this one. And there were 2 people. The other one in front, that is the team leader, pulling it. The other one behind, pushing it. So it is demonstrated that it is here with this picture, you can see.
Wow. Look, you can see it in the back. Look, guys. How do you feel about that?
Now, another remnant or another thing which Dr. Robert Laws left was this sink. This sink was used by Dr. Robert Laws here at Livingstonia. So you can see. From there, we have a gown, moderatorial gown of Dr. Robert Laws. At one time, he was a moderator of the Church of Scotland. So he would put on this gown, but he left it here. So he used this gown from 1894 to 1927, during the time he left. So you can see it is worn out just because it has overstayed.
Right.
I think from there, this is the end of our
thank you so much.
Sure.
Guys, if you are here in Livingstonia, as he told me, he was like, you haven't been to Malawi unless you've been to Livingstonia.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have to come to Livingstonia if you are in Malawi, and please come check out the Stonehouse Museum because it's very interesting and it has a lot of history. I mean, to think that, you know, a European guy came here and pretty much paid for everything, and now there's a university here with so many students, and there's a hospital, there's a church, there's a whole town, and a technical college. Like that's pretty amazing. So yeah, guys, all right, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.